The initial Detroit Lions 53-man roster, or should I say 52-man roster, is pretty much set. With all the dust settling, the Detroit Lions currently have 52 on their 53-man roster, with one spot being available. So if you missed it this morning, the Lions started off with 50 men on their active roster. They then traded away Tim Patrick to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th-round 2026 pick. That took us to 49. We then signed a former Jacksonville Jaguar safety, bringing the roster back up to 50. Then after waivers were processed, the Detroit Lions took 2 individuals that we will discuss in today's video, bringing the roster back up to 52, which means we have one more spot currently available on the initial 53-man roster. Why am I stressing the word initial? Because after when the dust settles, this is how it is, but it can quickly change. People can be waived. I suspect by the time the week is over, somebody will be gone and a new person will take their place. We also have 15 of the 16 spots on the practice squad field, and a lot of you guys are wishing for Zadarius Smith. And I'll tell you what, if number 53 ain't for Zadarius, I don't know if he's going to be a Detroit Lion anytime soon. It might be, you might as well park that and set that out to sea, because it might not happen. We are going to discuss some players no players were claimed, but we are going to discuss some players that were picked up by other teams and the irony of one particular player that has a really good chance to win a Super Bowl based off past history. So without further ado, let's get things cracking. I just got to make sure that everything is queued up so I can be ready to go. Let's take a look at the initial 53-man roster and the practice squad, the updated version. All right, so new additions. This is coming from Pride of Detroit. New additions to the Lions 53. We signed edge Titus Wheat from Dallas. And how ironic is that? James Houston made the 53-man roster with the Dallas Cowboys, but we then get an edge who did not. We also have a defensive tackle, Tyler Lacey, and he is coming from Jacksonville. So that's 2 players that we picked up essentially from Jacksonville. The guy that took the spot for Tim Patrick was safety Daniel Thomas from the Jacksonville Jaguars. These are the practice squad signings. Jacob Sailors, I am so happy to see a lot of these guys. Zach Horton, that's a little bit of a surprise. We've got Jackson Meeks. What up, though? Now, remember, the Lions had 6 wide receivers on their active roster. Now they only have 5. We only have 5. So will the Detroit Lions bring up Jackson Meeks, or will we hold that spot for another individual? The legend, Tom Kennedy, is on the team, the practice squad. Ronnie Bell, I like this. Dan Skipper returns. Went unclaimed, returns to the practice squad. He never had to even leave town. Tristan Colon, the terrible Mason Miller, Michael Neese, Edge Isaac Uku, Miles Adams, Keith Cooper Jr., Anthony Pittman, Eric Hallett, Lauren Strickland round out the practice squad players. So you might notice something of this list. One is we do not have a quarterback on here, and we also don't have a second kicker. Last year, we did not carry a second kicker after Greg Joseph was claimed, poached from our practice squad, but we did have Jake Fromm was on the practice squad. Maybe we can call him back up, and he can pick up where he left off. So we have 1 spot on the practice squad and 1 spot on the 53-man roster. These are former Lions heading elsewhere. Of course, we broke the news early this morning, bright and early at 7 a.m., that Tim Patrick is heading to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th-round 2026 pick. Hendon Hooker actually is going to sign or has signed with the Carolina Panthers practice squad. Shout out to Hendon Hooker. Broderick Martin, that is the guy, or should I say, with the 96th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Broderick Martin signed with the Chiefs practice squad. Now, you might not want to hear this, but 2 years ago, the last time that this happened, we had former Detroit Lions sign with the Kansas City Chiefs. They went on to win the Super Bowl. Isaiah Buggs and Chase Cota, both guys were on our team when the season, or one was cut after the preseason. He was cut in favor of Antoine Green, should have never been, the wide receiver from Oregon. You remember him? We cut him. He wind up winning a Super Bowl. We wind up cutting Isaiah Buggs in the middle of the 2023 season, and he was picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs and wind up winning a Super Bowl, even though he did not do a thing. Players waived, claimed by another team, none. There was very few actually claimed players. Players who cleared waivers and are now free agents. Now, it is very, very possible. I would not hold out hope for any one of these people because we already discussed the Detroit Lions have one spot on their active roster and one available spot on the practice squad. So without some shuffling and some cuts, the roster is pretty much set. Deion Jackson, Gunnar Oaks. We got Steve Stylianos. We have Jacoby Kenny James, Gunnar Britton, Zach Johnson, Nate Lynn. That is a tragedy, bro. The fact that Nate Lynn and Mitchell Agude had the type of season that they had, the preseason, and they're cut, that is a tragedy. That's a tragedy. The edge room is still anemic. It's terrible. Wow. Edge, Ahmed Hassanin, and injury settlement. We might make a video about him later. I read something from Mike Payton that was pretty interesting, but I don't know how that's going to work out because the Lions only have one spot left. Linebacker Deron Gilbert, cornerback Luke Barku, cornerback Alan George, cornerback DJ Miller, cornerback Tyson Russell, cornerback Nick Whiteside, safety Ian Kennelly, and Maurice Norris, leaving the current roster at 52. 52. If we look now, let's look at the updated list to see where we are exactly. Quarterbacks, we're taking Jared Goff and Kyle Allen, which are 2. We wind up going with 4 running backs. We already know, same as yesterday. Gibbs, Montgomery, Reynolds, Vaki. Wide receivers went from 6 to 5. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, Isaac Tesla, and Dominic Levitt. And we do not really have the space to go up to 6. So this is going to be it right here. Remember, the draft picks are the ones that make the team. Maybe he shouldn't have, but he did. So in order to bring Jackson Meeks on the team, you would have to elevate him. You can't downgrade Dominic. You would have to waive him or cut him or whatever the situation. Tight ends, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra. Offensive tackles, Penei Sewell. We got Taylor Decker, Giovanni Manu, and Jamarco Jones. A lot of people didn't have him making the team. Offensive interior linemen, Glasgow, Mahogany, Ratledge, Awasika, and Kingsley. Now, I said today earlier that there was not a 6th-round pick outside of Malcolm Rodriguez that had made a significant impact as far as longevity is concerned, all right? So Mahogany is a 6th-round pick. He is in year 2, if I'm not mistaken, and he's a starter. Okay, I was talking about beyond 2 years is what I was saying. We also have, go down here, defensive end. We went up from 3 to 4. This is a tragedy. This is tragic. We're going to go over some of his stuff later. Hutchinson, Davenport, Muhammad, and Tyrus Wheat. Don't be fooled by anything you see online. Defensive tackle, we went from 6 to 7. DJ Reader, Tyleek Williams, Roy Lopez, Pat O'Connor, Mekhi Wingo, Chris Smith, Tyler Lacey, and if you're claimed, you have to be put on the 53-man roster. Linebacker stays the same. Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell, Grant Stewart, Trevor Nowowski, and Zach Cunningham. Cornerbacks, I believe these are the same as well. Arnold, Reed, Robertson, Dorsey, and Maddox. Safety, we went up 1. Daniel Thomas, Rocky Sin, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. I really wish we could have got Justin Simmons, but oh well. And Jack Fox, Jake Bates, and Hogan Hatton are our specialists. So there is your situation right there. You have, now I don't think that there's any set amount of time that if you're claimed off waivers, you have to be on the team. I'm not sure about that because those 2 guys, like I said, we're going to go over some stuff later. Hopefully I can get the video out today. And yeah, should they have been claimed? I don't know. I think the Detroit Lions were so desperate that they just, to be honest with you, I have no idea what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. We got another defensive tackle and I don't even want to tell you what this defensive end has done, but you know, anyway, we'll see. But again, we only have one spot currently on the roster. We have, as far as one vacancy, That could go to anybody. I would love Zadarius Smith, but a lot of people think Zadarius is automatically coming back, and that is not the case. I have this sneaky feeling he'll sign somewhere else, and that'll put an end to all of this. And I'm kind of eagerly anticipating the fan base, what's going to happen when he doesn't resign here, if that is the case, how you guys are going to react, because a lot of you, it's like a foregone conclusion that he will come back, and that's not the case. So what would I like to see? I'm glad that the practice squad guys are back. A lot of guys that we know and love on the team, and no doubt will be an asset to us. I mean, ideally, probably an edge rusher, a veteran edge rusher, somebody quality. Carl Lawson still out there if you can't get Zadarius Smith. And I think we need a quarterback. I think it's always great to have a reserve quarterback and have one on the practice squad. So that's what I would like to see. But so far, I mean, we didn't really lose anybody that I'm heartbroken. I'm kind of curious, man. Nate Lynn comes out and does his thing, Mitchell Agude, and you just this is a very strange year to me. Like, if this is what this year is like, I can only imagine what next year will look like after the Detroit Lions have to. I think next year it's even going to be more crazy than this. We got Brian Branch and all these people that need to be paid. What direction are the Detroit Lions are going to go in? I mean, all of them are under contract next year. Jamison Williams, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, all of those guys are under contract. So, man, the next 2 years are going to be crazy. Anyway, let me know what you think of the 53, or should I say 52-man roster. Who would you like to see fill that last spot? Who would you like to see fill the last spot on the practice squad? It can be position or name. And is it anybody that you're disappointed that didn't make the team? Again, we'll probably go over some things about Ahmed Hassanin, and I'll give you guys an update on him, and maybe some other videos as well. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.